Welcome back to Funsie Podcast. It's a good old time post MVP. I got to see Ben enough to make up for the past year that I haven't actually seen him. That's 4 days straight.
Yeah, bro, you've been
Yeah,
playing a lot of courses around me and not hitting me up. So,
I definitely have
man?
not. That's completely a lie.
Maple,
There was
mile
one
marker.
time.
Come on, Mo.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, hanging out with Dadder and my family and whatnot.
No,
But we're here.
I'm just kidding.
If you can imagine, we're probably going to talk a lot about the MVP Open, but not so much the results per se. I guess kind of our experiences and what we had going on the past week. So yeah, how are you guys doing?
Dude, I am sick, so you guys will not be getting much from me.
And then,
can you hear it in my voice?
yes, in your nose. Can you hear it in your nose? As of me, I was doing some work today, and just on the expos, and I just went like this, and then something in my right shoulder blade, it just like got like stiff. So now I've been like walking around like this all day because I cannot
Just
move
flexing.
that well. Yeah, I don't
Like
know
a
what.
bodybuilder?
Yeah, exactly. I was just like this, and it went. It wasn't like a pop or anything. It was just like a, you know.
Yeah.
And
Did you
Dude, I,
dislocate your shoulder or something?
No. It kind of feels like when you wake up and have like a stiff neck, but it was like instant. It was like I was so loose, ready for the day, and then I just moved back a little, and then like right on my shoulder blade, it like pinched. I think it like pinched something, and then it became super stiff. So I'm just like I can't really turn that way.
Dude, you probably had like a tendon move out of place. Like 3 years ago, I was working at DEP. I was out in the middle of a swamp. There's no water in the swamp, but I still had to like get to the other side of it. So a lot of equipment in it. So I'm just like literally pushing through mud, and I felt like a pop in my shoulder blade, like you said. Dude,
Yeah.
I was out of commission for like. I'm sure yours is like fine because mine was actually like exerting, but like I was out for like months. Like I couldn't play disc golf.
Holy
for, like,
cow.
What the
probably,
heck?
Like 2 or 3 months. Yeah.
You're screwed,
Yours,
dude.
I'm sure. Yeah, my point is
You're
not
done,
to
dude.
scare you,
You'll never play again.
I'm done.
but it was like, yeah, I had the similar thing where like, dude, I was just using a foam roller over and over again until I felt better. But
Oh,
I'm here.
I should use that. I have
How
a
do you
foam
even
roller.
foam roll your shoulder? I feel like that'd be so hard to do it to yourself.
well, it's not like the shoulder itself. It kind of connects
It's
to
like
your
under
like
it. It's the
rib
weirdest
cage,
thing.
back, armpit, weird area.
Yeah.
Oh.
It hurts, but
Sounds like you guys have the same thing then, huh?
But all I did was stretch. Like, dude, I wasn't doing it. I feel like an old 60-year-old man. Like, I literally was just working on the expos, doing, expo launch weekend was just last week at MVP, doing my thing, and then it just like went doop, and then it got stiff, and I was like this. I was like, oh, so dude, so now I'm
Dude,
just
Ben-
like
Sounds like a disc
stiff.
golf injury.
Literally, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't disc golfing. I wanted to disc golf today. That's why I'm like bummed. I just had to like kind of just like take it easy afterward.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go. It was like 5 p.m. and I got to go throw like a couple holes, and then I'm like, now all of a sudden it's dark at 6 o'clock almost, and you're like, what the heck? It's not summer anymore. But speaking of the expo, Ben was out there
Sucks.
grinding this weekend at the expo. I mean, every single soul that walks
The
by.
expo?
I'm sorry, at MVP Open. So he was promoting. He had like a booth there for the expo,
Yeah.
and where he was placed,
Nice, dude.
it's like going up to the MPO hole 1. So every single person is walking by that. So he has prime real estate. There's a putting basket for pros. So everyone is over there. Needless to say, just about every person that walks by, this man is hitting them up, being like, "Hey, you heard of the like disc golf expo?" And talking to them whatnot. And yeah, do you want to tell them about like your buddy?
Networking king.
About
He
my
really
what?
is though. You want to tell them about your buddy?
Your
And how
body.
you're
Oh
like-
yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Hey, do you wanna-"
Hilarious. Well, first I'll preface it by saying this. This was the coolest year at MVP Open for the expos. Obviously,
Why?
there's
Oh,
a bunch of cool things that happened, but the coolest thing for the expo is 90% of the people I said, "Hey, have you heard of the expo?" said, "Yeah, I have." Like, or I've been. Like, awesome job. Or no, I've been wanting to go out there. Past 2 years, first year, obviously, it was not like that at all. I had like no one's heard of it because it never was a thing. And then the year after it, it was like maybe like 30-70%. But this year it was like, yeah, I have heard of it. To the point it was like just like super heartwarming, super grateful. I was just like, it made me feel really good. It made me feel like more clear. I know we've been talking recently about like kind of like, oh, what I do content, and that made me feel like more like grateful and like clear minded. Like, dude, like people love this expo. Like this is what I'm meant to do. So it made me feel awesome. But so Nick Carl's cousin, many of you know, he was in the booth. So if you missed out on meeting him, it's unfortunate. He pops out every once in a while. He knows nothing.
Stud.
He's the dude that was in your YouTube video that doesn't
Correct.
understand disc golf.
Mhm.
Yes, correct.
That is
Did he
important
meet
to the
any
story.
of those pros?
I'm getting there.
You'll hear.
So I have to. So I'm caddying for Gannon, obviously, again this weekend, and I had to like go to the bathroom or get ready or something like that. You know, it was close to Gannon's caddy time. So I'm like, James, can you just like pass out these flyers, let people know? And he's doing it. He's doing a great job letting people know. James Proctor starts coming up next to him, and he pitches the expo to James, like, hey, because he doesn't know James is a pro. He's like, hey, have you heard of the expo? And he's like, and James waves him off, like, yeah, I'm going, man. Or so I don't know if he said, what did he say, Sajko? Do you know exactly?
Yeah,
what he
so I was right there watching it, and James looked over, like he made a face, like very expressive, just being like, "What the, like, yeah, like I'm a pro sponsored by like." So basically, being like, "That's odd that you're asking me that." He's like, "Yeah, I'll be there though," and he's like, "Okay," and then people are like, "Do you know who that was?" And they're like, and they tell him it's James Proctor. He's like a pro about to tee off, and he's just like, "Oh, yeah, exactly." Like shows how much I know.
Yeah.
But Ben comes by and he's like, he roughly hears the story like, oh yeah, he just like said this to a pro, and Paul McBeth is like putting right there next to it, and Ben just like, did he just ask Paul McBeth if he's going to the expo? Did not. Made me laugh.
It's funny
laugh.
because it's funny. Wait, let me finish the James Proctor story, then we'll do another Nick Carl's cousin hilarious story that has to do with Paul McBeth. So I come back and I'm telling the story. I'm like, dude, that's so funny. And when James says, yeah, I'm going, I'm thinking like he's just being kind to James, like you know, like yeah, like he's walking by, he's busy, obviously about to tee off, like he's just being kind.
Is this final round tee off?
No,
or is this early
third day,
yeah,
third
third
day.
round.
So
he was
they've
up
already
there,
completed. Though. Yes, he was up there. So he's like, yeah, I'm going. So I'm thinking like he was just being nice, like you know, like he was just he wasn't expecting James to approach him. And then I'm there now, and then James is putting, and then he just looks at me. He's like, yeah, like I'll be there at the expo. I talked to Aaron already, like dead serious. I was like, yo, wait, you're actually coming?
Yeah, like Thought Space Athletics tend to specify.
Yeah. Aaron, owner of Thought Space. And I was like, wait, you're actually coming? He's like, yeah, man. And I was like, oh, dude, like I thought you were just being nice to my friend. Like that's awesome. And we got a good laugh of it after he won the final round. I talked to Aaron and him because he was just chilling. So I thought that was very cool because at first I thought James was just being nice, like yeah, I'll see you there. But he actually is coming to the expo. So I guess this is maybe not a spoiler, not really, but James Proctor has verbally committed that he's coming to the expo this year. So that's one pro that I know wants to come to. It's Disc East, by the way, that he's coming to, not Disc South. But Jay Milley will be at Disc South. So
Confirmed.
There you go. If you like Jay Milley more, I mean, you give and take. So let me talk about
pro disc golfer.
That's what they're saying.
Yo, also, Proctor. So I got a front row seat to the Proctor show, and it's just like it's so cool being there.
What about your other story for James?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Sorry, I was just
okay.
I was just saying it's just so cool being there and watching pros in the final stretch execute it like right in front. He hit every putt. Like other people were messing up, he didn't mess up. It was just like very cool. So congrats to the James Proctor. But yes,
dude, I would have loved the Paul McBeth James Proctor playoff though.
Bro,
I know.
James is that dog, bro. That's what I'm saying. He just didn't
Yeah,
miss
that
any
putt,
putts.
holy
He just
cow.
didn't miss any putts, bro. It was like it's something that I aspire.
He's a
I
great
want to
putter.
be. Yeah, I want to be putt like James Proctor. That's like my new goal. So
You're caddying for Gannon.
well, yeah, I want. Gannon's obviously an elite putter too, but I'm just saying like both of them. I want to be as good as them. Like, at that time, I'm not thinking, oh, James, yeah, good job, bro. No, I want Gannon to win.
James, can I caddy for you instead? I see that you're about
I
to
want,
win.
but then
Mid-tournament, you're
after-
like, see ya.
After it's all said and done, and you can kind of look hindsight, like Gannon, probably around like 16 when Gannon parred and did a birdie, we kind of knew like okay, like James might have this in the bag.
And
both
that's
of
when
us.
you asked him if he could caddy.
No. I'm Gannon's caddy, bro. I'm caddying for Gannon. He's my boy. Love that kid.
I'm surprised you don't caddy for Simon.
He just never asked me. It's just one of those things that like I just didn't know he wanted. He didn't have a caddy for MVP, so
He did. I thought he had Andrew.
the whole time.
I definitely saw him for like a
Yeah,
couple rounds.
I think one. Okay, so maybe he did. I didn't know, but yeah, he just never asked me. So I didn't know he needed a caddy. Obviously, if Simon ever needed a caddy and he asked me, I'd be down. Anyways, so James is at the last expo. Paul Macbeth is there, selling his Kratos. Nick Carl, James is Nick Carl's cousin. Nick Carl's there with Paul. Him and Paul are really good friends. Some would say even best friends. Nick goes up to James with Paul and starts introducing him like, "Hey, like James, this is Paul." This is Paul. Like whatever. He doesn't say like Paul Macbeth or like the GOAT or whatever. He's just like a normal interaction. And then James like, "Oh, what's up, bro? Like, yeah, how are you? Nice to meet you." And I'm pretty sure Nick Carl's like, "Yeah, it's like this is like Paul Macbeth." And then he's like, "Oh." So James didn't even know he was talking to Paul Macbeth. Like that's how like out of tune. And he told me after, he's like, "Bro, apparently I was talking to Paul Macbeth with Nick and I had zero idea." So I don't know. That's why we love him, but I
Is
also
he just
don't
not
expect him.
interested in disc golf? I feel like having a brother like Nick Carl and then being friends
Cousin.
with you, like, oh, sorry, my bad. But still, like, he's surrounded by disc golf. I'm surprised he hasn't even like, I don't know.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
do you think he will?
No, because here's the thing. I've noticed that other than my fiance's father and mom now, I've never met anyone that enjoys watching disc golf that doesn't play. I feel like for some reason everyone who likes disc golf plays and he doesn't play. So it's just like one of those things where like I don't play basketball or football, but I enjoy watching it. I feel like disc golf,
Yeah,
every disc
That's a
golfer
good point.
plays.
I was talking to someone about this today, actually, because we were talking about the explosive growth of pickleball and disc golf. And I was talking to them about how I don't think that pickleball will, at least like Major League Pickleball, will get super big because, like you said, I'll watch football all day, but I don't even play football. I'll watch basketball all day. I play basketball sometimes, but not really. I'll watch baseball. But like a sport like pickleball, if you watch it, even if you play casually, it's just kind of boring. I feel like it's kind of similar for golf and disc golf, but those sports are just so much. I don't know. I think it's different. I think that I think our sport has the growth capacity to get to a level where someone who's never played disc golf would watch it. But I don't think pickleball has that. That's my take.
I'm trying to even think about what my thoughts are on that. That
Yeah,
makes
it's kind of
sense.
like a random niche thing.
Yo, look at it. If you guys know, this is Gretchen from Recess playing pickleball. Who knows the vibes?
Incredible.
Sick.
We love
You already
that.
know.
Yeah, I mean, going back to Paul Macbeth, the last two, I guess maybe I didn't say it on the podcast, but for MVP Open, I was caddying for Austin Turner, And initially, I wasn't even going to be going this weekend, but it was like a week and a half prior, and I was like, I really don't want to miss this. So I hit him up and I was like, hey, can I caddy for you? And I can make some content for you and another round. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So last 2 rounds, well, first of all, he played super well.
So
Man ended up taking 8th place, and it was really cool to watch. And he's very easy to
Did
get
either
along
of you
with.
guys, being caddies, get a cut?
Get a cut? No. He did tell me that when actually, I won't say that yet because I haven't announced that yet. But yeah, last 2 rounds, I was like on the card with Paul Macbeth, so that was really cool because there was no one following along until like the last few holes on the last day. I didn't even feel like Paul, no disrespect to Paul, I didn't even feel like he was playing that well on the last day. And then all of a sudden, I like looked, I'm like, okay, where did Austin place? And I look and I'm like, Paul Macbeth's in first place right now.
with
I was like,
11 down.
Dude,
What the
he shot
frick?
11 down, and
That's
it was
so
the most
good.
casual 11 down I've ever seen in my life. I didn't think he was playing well. I'm honest. Like
I've had that happen multiple times where I'm playing with someone in a tournament or even just casually, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm shredding, like I'm destroying this person, and then I look down and they're beating me by 3 strokes, and I'm like, you're playing bad. What? How is this happening?
It's crazy.
Sometimes people just make it look so casually, so they're so casual. Sorry.
That's how good he was. Yeah, we're going on from hole 14 to 15, and he's talking to Austin, being like, today's just one of those days where I feel like I've had a birdie putt on every hole. And Austin's just like silent for a sec because he doesn't know what to say, and he's like, yeah. And then like he just laughs. But then, yeah, I guess he really did have pretty much a birdie putt on every hole, it seemed like. The only one that was like a glaring, super weird mistake that he had was, so I ended up recording, so 3rd round on hole 8, he nearly aced it, and I got to record that, which is really sick. So that'll be coming out at some point. But the exact same Athena, the very next day he threw it and it completely flipped over. It was very, very bizarre because he basically like throws it for a flip up hyzer and then it gently comes into the basket. But yeah, completely flipped over. Super weird. I mean, he must have hit the basket so hard for that to be in like that.
Yeah, that's wild.
Very
I'm sure that sucked.
very casual, man. But
Dude,
cool to see, just like to be a part of that.
you want to be the king of networking, Sajko? Paul Macbeth, after tee shot hole 3, he's about to step off the tee pad. Hey, my name is Nathan Sakowitz. Nice to meet you, Paul.
Oh, is that what you're telling me that I should have done?
Yeah, but it was a joke.
Oh, okay. No, I thought about that kind of stuff this weekend.
He's like, no, I was kidding because obviously that is the worst time to ever.
Oh, yeah. To go off of that for a second, it was one card away until Austin teed off, so I was hanging out over by hole 1, and Niklas was teeing off, and this kid, very soft spoken, and I kind of felt bad for him. He was like following Niklas, being like, "Hey, do you mind? Would you be able to sign this for me?" And Niklas, just in his like very Eastern European accent, was just like, "I am late for tea time," and basically just like the kid was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
That's
that is one
hilarious.
thing with the new rules. That's unfortunate. Yeah, they gotta be there. I've seen it before where they're like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I gotta catch me after the round." Which,
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah. and
Sajko,
it's
were
not-
you the old person that grabbed Niklas?
So the old person that grabbed, was that a thing?
you didn't see that.
Did neither of you guys see that?
Okay, yeah. So
I
here's
did
the
not
thing.
see that.
Let me lay this out because here's my opinion on that. He was a Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts troop leader of like young kids. They were going around selling candy for like $2.
Dude, I saw that guy.
Yeah, they were selling candy for $2. He knows nothing about disc golf. Nothing. He thought it was one of his kids. This is what I'm assuming. Thought it was one of his kids. That's why he stepped up on the tee pad when Nico's up there. He didn't know. So I don't fault the guy for anything. I don't think anything nasty or anything. He just was a troop leader.
T-pad, wasn't it the drop zone?
Well, the
putt?
tee pad of the drop zone, yeah. So he
Okay,
stepped on it, and then he thought he just grabbed, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." So I think I did see the Reddit of it. Most people were saying that, so But I know some people were being like, bro, they would hit. But like, if you watch the video, you see like, it's just some guy that doesn't know disc golf, and he just didn't. He's just there to help his Boy Scouts raise money for their troop.
For those listening / Sajko,
Yeah.
what happened is on what hole has that been?
8.
Hole 8's drop zone putt. Niklas was like turning around to grab his putter or something, and this older gentleman is not looking at Niklas at all, but like kind of like, I don't know, almost like stumbled up to the tee pad, and he had his head turned the opposite direction of Niklas and like grabbed his arm and like tried to guide him off the tee pad. I guess kind of what Ben's saying, like thinking it's one of his Cub Scouts or something like that. And
He
then
didn't try to grab him. He just like touched his arm, like, you know, like.
From the video I saw, it looked like he grabbed his arm, but
yeah, he grabbed it, but it, like, I'm just trying to make it visualize it better. It wasn't like a. It was more just like a, oh, like you gotta come here, buddy. But
was this on
yeah,
coverage?
like a gentle grab.
just go on Reddit, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why
No,
I avoid that like the plague.
Me too.
It's just
I had to look
think
it
it's
up.
just a phone video.
Yeah,
But it's very funny and comedic. And the second he realizes, he's like, "Oh, sorry," and you see the face on Niklas's face is hilarious.
the face on Nicholas's face.
Oh man. Did you happen to watch any of it, Josh? Like being Maple Hill, or if you didn't, I mean, I wouldn't fault you.
Coverage?
Yeah, any coverage.
I did not. I was
Okay.
playing my own tournament.
Oh, let's go, dude. I imagine a lot of this will be related to MVP Open. So do you want to share that so we just don't completely blast over that?
Yeah, I can share. It's pretty sad.
No.
As listeners may know, I recently made the jump officially to MPO. So this was kind of my first real MPO tournament. I'm going to make a video about it. I've played 2 other MPO tournaments, but one of them was with the Arobi Epic only, and the other one is my In the Bag, which is coming out this week. And I did like a challenge, so I don't really count them. But so it was a 2-rounder on Saturday, at a course that I've never really played well at. But coming in, I was feeling good. Like I was very confident that I was gonna play well. I don't know, like I had been throwing well and putting well. And round 1 was pretty solid. I made all the putts that I should have made, and a few that I don't like. I shouldn't have made, I guess. But I just could not throw. I don't know what was going on. My timing was just completely off. Everything was late, and I kept trying out. Like I was like, don't release late, like if anything, miss early this time, and still just yanking.
Mm-hmm.
But I still shot like 975 or something. I was pretty sad, but I was like, whatever, not a big deal.
Sad, bro. Your rating perception is skewed.
Yeah, I guess so. And so I had a big pep talk with myself. And then round 2 comes around, and it's just like twice as bad. I shot like 910, and I almost cried mid-round. And putting was still just elite. I just could not throw. Everything was early. Everything was off. Just nothing there. Couldn't birdie. And you guys probably don't know this guy, but he's local to this area. He's a 14-year-old. His name is Roderick.
Minu.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his last name. He's
dude,
Team
see,
Hooley.
I know him. He's hooligan.
And he's insane.
Loaded.
I've played against him in a tournament before. He was playing MPO just because he needed the competition. Round 1, 1041. Round 2, 1024
Bruh.
or something. Absolute, like, shreds the field. Like, wins by like 7 or 8 strokes. And I was just awestruck. And if you guys have watched my videos before, I played the NADGT championship last year, and I got clapped by a 14-year-old. So now I have been beaten by a 14-year-old in multiple tournaments, which officially makes it a habit that 14-year-olds beat me, which is not something I enjoy.
I know. I wish I started when I was younger. That's one thing. I mean, hindsight, It's 2020,
Dude.
But
Yes, sir.
I'm calling
wish
it
it
now.
started younger.
Roderick's a fiend. He's gonna. I see
Fiend.
him on the tour in a few years. He shreds.
I agree,
He has
bro.
a Gannon. He has a Gannon style game. He's lanky. Has that same putt. Throws Discmania. It's there. It's in the cards. He's on the tour in
I
a few
met
years.
him. I met him when I was. He's a fan of not this show, but the other show, Stagger Stance. He was a fan, and he came up to me and introduced himself. So, and that's how I met him. And I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." And then yeah, he beat me that day too. But yeah, that doesn't say much, bro. I just. Anyways.
Long story short, I sucked in my tournament, and now I'm sick. Maybe I'm sick because I sucked. Who knows?
Bro was so stressed.
Yeah.
Ben, do you
Yeah.
want to start? Any other details about MVP Open interactions, things that happen at
Yeah,
night after the tournament? You're caddying.
Let's go for the interactions first. Thank you. This is the first thing I want to say. If you're listening to this, obviously you're a fan of one of us, but you could be a fan of me. I don't know how I'm trying to say this, but I'm hoping like people that said hi to me are hearing this is what I'm trying to say. So I just want to say thank you. It was super cool, super humbling. I just felt like I just met so many incredible people that told me how they like my YouTube, how they like the expos, like or like Filmer Simon, or a ton of people said nice ace, like everyone saw that, so
Yeah.
that was super cool. So I just
no
wanna
one saw the ace.
yeah, I
It
just
was
wanted
behind
to
Luke Taylor.
Yeah, hidden.
Oh, so sad. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. That was honestly, it never gets old. Just meeting people and having you say hi and just letting you know. It just puts a face behind the numbers, and it just gives me a new, fresh like breath, a fresh look. Like, okay, what I do does matter. This is awesome. Like, I have such an incredible life, and I just want to thank each and every person that said hi to me. And it was the coolest thing. Like, I had people asking for autographs. Like, why are you asking for my autograph? And
I saw that.
Now, given it was like maybe like 5 to 8 people. I don't even know. But still, it was just like they stopped me to get my autograph, and it was the coolest thing ever. It's not worth anything, but it's the me thought that counts. They just wanted it because I assume they just enjoy something of what I do. So I don't know. It's just weird. It's just like it's just so hard to grasp your mind around it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So thank you. It's so cool that I get to do this for a living, and it's all because of y'all. So if I'm hoping anyone who talked to me at the MVP Open is listening to this, because this is my official thank you note.
Yeah. Was that it?
Yeah. So do you want to get just into like gameplay? Or I don't know if you wanted to talk and say thank you or.
I don't think his question was for you to thank everyone. I think his question was, "Oh, did you have any funny interactions? Was there anyone?
Yeah. Well,
was anything interesting happen
I understand.
to you?"
I was just talking about that. Was my interactions were all amazing, and I just wanted to thank everyone. Did I have any funny interactions? Not in particularly, honestly. I think everyone was super cool. But yeah, we could just go straight into kind of MVP talks, I guess.
Sometimes Ben acts like he's never been on a podcast before.
Well, here's the thing. Funsie, we let our minds flow, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling wired, and
Heck yeah, dude.
I'm just trying to like move on from, and it keeps being brought back. So let's move on.
Wait, I just wanted to know about your experience of the weekend, man. Like, I just wanted to know, like, how was caddying for Gannon? Was there anything cool?
Okay,
But, I mean, I can talk if you want.
Caddying for Gannon. There you go. That's
This is what happened last week, and then I think I timed it. I think you talked for 8 minutes straight.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love
But
it.
you guys, here's the thing. You guys make no sense. You're literally asking me to answer you these questions. Why wouldn't I talk about it? It makes no sense. Like, why am I getting toasted here? Like, you guys asking me, oh, what was your experience with Gannon? So I'm going to talk about it. Here we go.
I do. I want to know.
Here we go.
I want to know.
Here we go.
Yeah, we want it.
8
All's
minutes.
good, man.
No, obviously this is gonna be a little short because it's pretty much same old, same old. Like caddy for Gannon, it was awesome. It was really cool to see him shoot +3 in the first 3 holes, round 2, and then finish -5. That just like puts into perspective just how great these guys are. That he can, with basically 15 holes left to play in +3, you can turn around your round. He got 8 birdies out of 15 holes, which was awesome. And yeah, it was just super cool to hang out with him and the boys again. There wasn't anything like really crazy. Obviously, like, so I live in Leicester. It's my hometown. I got to see a lot of people like the MVP guys and Thought Space and OTB East and DFX and Union Square and Cosmic and not the shout out. Dead Last Disc Golf, Circle One, Nibbles and Nuts, Northeast Women's Disc Golf. All people that have vended at my expo is what I'm going with. Oakham Brewery. So it was really cool to kind of have.
Par?
Happy with par. Yes, thank you for that. I knew I would have forgot someone. So it was really cool to see kind of people in my hometown that I got to catch up with that I haven't seen in a while. Also, it was very cool to be caddying because my cousins and brother and their fiancés and girlfriends got to come out and watch me caddy for Gannon. And so that was super, super cool, super surreal thing because, like I said, it's my hometown. Like, just for me, it's like I feel like MVP Open is my Billie Eilish interview. And you guys are going to freaking clown me for that. But by that, I mean how, like, every year they interview Billie Eilish. And it was like, this year I had 1 million subscribers. And then by year, like, 4, she's, like, the biggest artist in the world and asking the same questions. First year MVP Open, wasn't on the podcast, had nothing. I just volunteered. That was, like, my really first kind of start in disc golf. Volunteering. That's how I met Steve Dodge, how I got to be friends with him. And that's how it was. Second year, I was just on the podcast trying to promote this expo where people were like, I'm not sure about this one, buddy. And then third year was, yeah, I think this was the third year. I'm just trying to remember. And then third year was like, you know, just like kind of like the fruits of my labor kind of really showing and kind of really getting to reap kind of what I've sowed all those years. So I always think it's just the coolest thing that's why it's a special event for me. One, in my hometown. Two, because that was kind of my start. Volunteering at MVP Open was my start in kind of just that disc golf space, which I think. And so if everyone always talks about, let's see, I'm at 3 minutes. Okay, I got 5 more minutes to go. So everyone always talks about the volunteer, like, oh, you got to pay $100. And I don't think it's that big of an issue. It seems like, so all the volunteers wore a blazer in honor of Steve Dodge on Sunday, which is the coolest thing ever. So it seems like all the volunteers.
You have to pay $100 to volunteer?
There you go.
Have you not heard this?
There you
Josh?
go.
There was
That's
a big deal.
There you
2
go.
years ago, I want to say, that's when they started doing that.
So, but you get a players pack that's well over $100.
Okay.
It's like
That's
exclusive
not as
discs, stuff like that. And every year I would just sell my discs, get my money back. I mean, I only volunteered 1 year, so I don't know why I'm saying every year.
Well, it's not a wrong statement. It's not a wrong statement for you to say that.
Yeah, whenever it's people like what Jay Millie, like $100, like it's like you just don't understand. It's just like I highly recommend everyone who can to volunteer. It's just, even if you don't want to make it in disc golf, whatever, business wise or whatever, it's just to be a part of that. It's that community and on the staff. It's just an experience like no other, and it's just truly kind of grounding and makes you really feel kind of at home in the disc golf community, because, you know, it's all for one for all. You know, when you're putting on this major event, you feel special. I'll say it like that. When you're helping, whatever it is, whether you're directing traffic, you feel special, and that's a huge attribution. I don't know if that's the word. Attribute to Steve Dodge. He has put on an incredible show. He treats everyone fairly. I mean, Steve, if you guys haven't met Steve, he's one of the best people ever, and it shows. I mean, he got that huge tribute to him, so it's just I can't recommend it enough. So that's why I just love the MVP Open. It's kind of like a check mark for me. It's a milestone marker for me. Like, okay, what was at the last MVP Open, and this one, it was just, dude, I freaking aced in front of touring pros. Like what is life? Like it just, what is life? It just really brought me into kind of like this, like just state of gratitude, and that I'm still in.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
if
like
that was
for
8
one
minutes,
moment,
but
it's like for one moment you're all on the same level. For a sec, you're like, yes, it's like I'm one of them. Real quick about Steve Dodge, though. I don't know if Steve knows who I am, per se, but every single time that I make eye contact with that man, I mean, he has a piercing stare. And like, I feel like he's looking directly into my soul. Like, he doesn't know me either. Do you get that, Ben, or no?
no, because he knows me. So it's
Well,
like,
yeah, that's
when he looks at me, it's more like,
yeah, listeners could definitely see that face.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the things that you said kind of resonate with me as well. For whatever reason, this year was the first year that MVP Open felt like a really big, like it felt local to me. And it was really strange because obviously I've been going there for years for the event. But this time it was like, oh, all these people that I saw down at like Worlds, they're like up here now. And I don't know, it made it feel like more special. Like they're just like in my backyard, even though it's like 45 minutes away from where I live. But yeah, caddying, like my experience, just like caddying for Austin and stuff like that. No idea what to expect, obviously. I met him down at Worlds. But I truly believe, I don't think that there was a better person that I could have caddied for this weekend. I don't know, I don't know mannerisms of all different pros, but I can imagine that there are some that are just like, all right, you're my caddy. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Don't tell me what to do. I'm sure those exist. But for Austin, it was really easy. Like he knows when to joke around, and obviously like that's what I do too. Like just joke around, make dumb jokes, keep you like level headed, and then he knows when it's like, okay, game time, like go up, do my shot. He did not have many mistakes this weekend. Again, he took 8th place, and anytime that he did have a bogey, he immediately followed it up by like getting a birdie. And straight up, he would go on like, he's like, oh, what's that? 3 in a row? Oh, what's that? 5 in a row? And it's just cool to see. And on top of that, obviously getting all that content and stuff, going to another round, like posting myself, whatnot. And side note, really strange. A lot of the people that I met, they're like, hey, I know who you are. And I would tell them, I'm like, yeah, I live like around here. They're like, you do? I think they all, I think they
You
all
live
think
in
I live in like
Charlotte, yeah.
Charlotte. Yeah,
Which you will.
multiple people.
You will soon. Don't you worry. You will soon.
Multiple people said this weekend, they're like, oh yeah, I didn't even know. Oh, whatever. Have not announced this yet, I guess, speaking of like Charlotte area, but I am officially going down to USDGC, so that'll be pretty sick, man. My first time.
You couldn't come down for the Pro Tour Championship? That's what I'm going to.
I know. When I heard you say that, in the back of my head, I was like, no, dude, we're gonna be passing on the plane right by each other.
1 week apart, dude. If you were there, you could be in my practice round on the course.
Ooh, dude, that'll be cool. Yeah, I look forward to A, seeing that, like what you're doing, and B, now when I think of Charlotte, there'll actually be memories or something associated with it where I'm like, okay, so it actually, Charlotte means something now. It's not just a name of like a city
it's a name
down
for
in North
me.
Carolina.
Have you?
All I have in my head is like people calling it disc golf Mecca. I've never been.
Same.
And I've only seen the courses online, and I'm excited to play it for the first time. Play some of them, I guess.
Dude, Charlotte disc golf, unrelated to disc golf. I went down when I first filmed with Joseph for the Ace Challenge we did. I went down and I absolutely loved it. It was like it was the coolest city ever. It was skyscrapers.
What was so cool about it?
That's where I'm going.
Oh, sorry.
It was skyscrapers on one block, and then you could literally walk 3 blocks away and it'd be like a suburban home with a backyard, like a full backyard. It was the craziest thing. And one, I loved the weather. 2, yeah, the disc golf. I only got to play like front 9 at Scrapyard. That's all I played in Charlotte. So I'm looking forward. Announcement. I am also going to USDGC.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the staff so you'll see me kind of just I think my role is to be around the stage area, so I'm gonna be on the staff and kinda just being there, hanging out, chopping it up.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah. So I just booked my flight like 3 hours ago. So
I am doing that after this.
there you go. And it was just the main reason it was like the Bank of America Stadium, the Panthers, like the Charlotte Hornets are all huge professional teams, yet Charlotte itself is just so homey. It's like where Joseph lives in Charlotte. It's like he took me out to like his favorite spot to eat. It was a Mexican spot and it was delicious. It was like I was just in a suburb. Didn't even feel like a city, and that's why part of the reason I really liked it. It was just like super, I don't know the word for it, but just like mellow. It was just beautiful, and you got the city vibes, but not like New York City where it's just like kind of like you know everything's just like cramped and everyone's everywhere. It was just like
anxiety.
Yeah, you have all the major assets in a city, while also you can just go a few blocks away. I was in an Airbnb with a backyard and a house, and I could just step outside and see the skyline of Charlotte, maybe less than a mile away. It was, you guys are gonna see it. It's super cool, and I'm a big fan of it. And maybe I'll come to the Pro Tour Championship, man. That's the cool thing about disc golf being your job. It's justifiable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, come hang out, man. Come play in my practice round. I have 2 more spots to fill.
Dang,
Who are you
dude.
playing with?
Just me and my cameraman right now. Wednesday, day before.
Ooh.
Yeah, where Nevin? Is that where it's at?
Wherever it's happening. I think Nevin, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I might be able to swing that. We'll see.
Yeah, it's cool to experience that southern hospitality and we're not used to that up here in New England. Ben, I don't know if you feel this, but there is like this air of if someone is nice to you and they're a stranger in New England, you're like, yo, what's your deal? Like you being a creep? You like trying to mess with me or something like that? Like that's very common around here just in general. So when you go down to a place like that and people are being nice to you, they're like, what do you want? Like, what are you trying to get out of me?
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's definitely just the standard down here in Texas.
Yeah, but that sounds kind of nice.
Charm, maybe.
Yeah, as long as it's genuine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
I've never got that feeling really in New England. I feel like I don't know. It's so tough to say. I don't know. I feel like I think everyone's nice everywhere. Obviously, that's not true, but I think in person, a lot of people are nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just on the internet. It's just they're not that nice on the internet. I don't know why.
Yeah, can confirm. But yeah, I got a lot of really good content out of the weekend. Following along on the cards that I did.
Oh yeah, you got Paul Macbeth to
Dude.
Oh, that was also super cool. I got to meet Ben Askren and talk to him.
Did you?
Yeah, that was super cool. I gave him my card. He said reach out to me on social media. Just obviously that's the typical kind of like doesn't mean much. It's not like he was like, oh yeah, but I just told him
like,
about the
I
disc
know
golf. The disc golf expos and stuff like that. So it was super cool to meet a celebrity. I guess I think I don't know. He's a
man never wears shoes.
Yeah, he was wearing flip flops. A disc golf celebrity, I guess. That's not in disc golf. If that makes sense.
Yup. Yeah, but I got to like second round
Like
hang out
Andrew
with like
Manganiello, celebrity.
Yeah, for sure. No, he really is though. He what was I gonna say? Yeah, I got to like hang out with Adam Hammis because he played with Austin Turner second round, and I got like a bunch of video for him, and he followed me, so I'm gonna do some cool collabs. Like, anyways, doing stuff for these pros is not something that I expected to like, but now that
It's
I have
who
like
you
a
are
bunch
now,
of stuff,
bro. You're editor.
yeah, I'm kind of finding that because it's such a different type of thing that I'm not used to doing, that it's like bringing me in, because it's forcing, instead of like doing something funny, it's like trying to make it cool but still feel relatable. Because I know like a really popular thing is just to go like super over the top, like not really like hype beast type of thing, but like just try to make it as professional and cool as possible.
Mm.
And that is neat, but when there's a bunch of people doing that all in the same space, it's like, okay, yeah, I mean that's cool, but so just trying to figure that out, like where I fit in that. I have one coming out tomorrow. I will say it's for Cal Longquist, and I am super super stoked on how it came out. Because again, something completely different, and yeah, I don't know, it's just fun, man.
What's
Like,
your
I'll be watching out for it.
What's your
Cool.
turnaround time on these shorts, bro? Like,
it depends what it is. Like the one that I
what's the
like the
Cal
palmic
Longquist? Because you're super proud of it.
Cal Longquist.
How
We'll
how
call
long
it
did
like
it take?
we'll call it like the bones of it. I mean, it was pretty much done in like 20 minutes. But because I was doing like a lot of color grading and stuff like that, I think I had to go back and do like 8 different iterations of it. So it probably ended up taking me like 2 hours because I'm like, I want this to be really good. And
And
like,
you only edit on your phone?
yeah,
That's wild. Super cool though. You're like
dude,
the
I was gonna,
you're like the Steve Lacy of editors. You know, where if you don't know Steve Lacy, his like
yeah, he's a music artist.
yeah he record on his phone exclusively for like a certain album or a certain time, and he's like, yeah, bro. It was to prove that you don't need all this stuff. You can still make great things just on your phone, like in your hand.
Sacco is a living legend.
I'm trying, man. Yeah,
So
it's like you said at the beginning of the podcast, like timeline, not today, but just like get a little better every single day, that sort of deal.
Sago,
Yes,
obviously,
sir.
obviously Yarsak would have to be okay with this, but bro, I'm gonna pitch you a business plan for you and your disc golf because I love business. This is my pitch to you on how Sacco
Okay.
can be a disc golf full time. Obviously, first step, another round. Obviously, you know you're already working your way to that, but it would be super cool. We already talked about this. If you just lived with Yarsak in an RV, followed the tour, and you were just the resident editor, like anyone you could hire you for a practice round to film or edited, and you were just around filming stuff, editing stuff, being like, yo, I got this reel for you. I'm gonna collab. If you ever want any more reels in the future or want me to follow your card, here's my pricing, yada yada yada, and I'll help or something like that. I think that would be a
No,
way
that's
to
That's a
really
great idea because a lot
grow
of
your
these,
brand.
especially smaller name pros, just want to get their name out there. And the most
Mhm.
effective way to do that is to use social media, if you don't get on lead card or whatever.
Yeah,
So
I think
that's
brand
a
is
great
obviously
idea.
like super important. I was talking to Austin this weekend, and a truth, like really, I when I think about it, sure, there's like Silas that has like his edits and stuff like that, and those are awesome. Um, but who do you think is doing like the best shorts right now as like a touring disc golfer? Because I think Austin Turner might actually have that title compared to like
Yeah,
other people.
probably.
But here's the
Yeah,
thing,
he's
like
got all the aces.
here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he edits those videos. Does he edit them that are on another round?
The ones for another round I edit. Well, not all of them. Most of them I do, but
But that's what I'm
like
saying.
the
Like
stuff that
that's
he
your
put, he still edits his own stuff, and he told me he
okay.
edits Adam Hammis's stuff.
Oh, there you go. So I didn't
Nice.
know that, but I'm saying that's your honey hole, bro. Like you just like, hey, I'll give you shorts, and because pros, like you said, I feel like Austin Turner has gotten so much exposure. I feel like Austin Turner has used the other round sponsorship perfectly. Where
He
it's like
has.
he's accessing the giant fan base while promoting the company, and he's accessing correctly. Like he's doing it
Definitely.
right. By he's putting in the content first, and it shows. I feel like he's made a name for himself just because of how often he is on another round and how often you guys are kind of like posting things like gassing him up. I think it definitely helped out his brand. So he's been using that, and it's a win-win because you guys get a bunch of views and followers along with it, and so does he. So it's kind of like I feel like that's a mutually beneficial.
Did you guys see that one on another round when he was playing in Vermont and he like shanked it over the water? I mean, he did it on purpose, but we set it up. That was the first video that he's gotten to 1 million views. So I was very proud of that one because he, got over the hump. But anyways, the point I was getting to, I was asking Austin, and I'm like, why do you think like manufacturers and stuff like that are not doing like what another round does for you, or like even what I'm doing right now? And he's like, dude, they just don't care. He's like, I don't think they care enough. It's kind of like, because I'll be the first to say it. I'm not like out there doing anything crazy. I'm just like there with my phone. And then my point is like what I'm doing, they could be doing it, but they're just choosing not to. So I do find it strange that they could just be getting so much more exposure doing that. And it's not like it's really, it's a good investment is the point that I'm trying to make. And it's odd that they're not doing it.
Yeah. Dude, I see like pros like,
oh, dude, I thought you were making a face. I didn't know you were sneezing. I thought that was the start of a bit.
I see pros like
it's like, oh, what's up? What's up?
I see pros like Ezra Aderhold. Dude, he is stacking cheddar on YouTube, and he doesn't even have the cash, and he's still making like 10 grand a month. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I bet
every
he's doing
pro,
great.
and he hasn't been having the season he's probably wanted.
Right.
I feel like he played a lot better last year, but it doesn't matter. He can still be on tour and live on tour because he just posts one practice round per event. It's just like, I feel like there's just such a, if you're a touring pro, obviously it is important. Disc golf's your thing. But if that's your only thing, there's so much gap and space to do other things. And I think sometimes, obviously practicing, but just filming yourself. People want to know. If I was a pro, it'd be the easiest. I would just document. I would just document what I'm doing every day. So it wouldn't be any extra pressure. Then I just go hire someone to edit it, and then I just feel like there's a huge gap, and I think this is why Simon has crushed this. It's people want to see pros play, and he's crushed that aspect, and he's making. I mean, obviously he's making a lot of money off disc sales, MVP, but that aside, off YouTube itself, he's making good money off YouTube, and I don't know that personally, what he's making. I just know from the views, like he's easily getting at least 100K views per video. So I think there's a huge, like, if Gannon could just film his practice rounds and hire an editor, he makes so much money. He made 15 grand just for winning last week. If he could just use that, he would triple that money that he's already making just by hiring an editor for like $1,000 or whatever per month. I don't know like the rate is, but I feel like it's just such a thing that's missing in the sport, and it's just such low hanging fruit for the pros. And that's why I've always had this mindset, like, oh, like if I was good, I would just document. I don't think that mindset is necessarily correct. I don't think people will care as much as me playing 18 holes versus a pro, but I still think I shouldn't be stopped from doing that. I always thought I had to be so unique and do ace challenges and freaking trivia and stuff like that. But for them, it's just like low hanging fruit.
When I met Jeff Panis and I got to talk to him for a while, he was saying that like kind of what we're talking about for pros. He's like talking to them being like, yeah, like it's really important to like get your brand going and put all this content out. And I guess for a lot of them, they're just really afraid they want to appeal to an audience as wide as possible. And I don't think they want to say anything that like alienates any part of their crowd. So I think they kind of like what they have, and they're afraid of like taking a chance to let go of any portion of that. So they like keep it safe and they just don't put anything out. And I get it. I mean, these guys had like 2 days to practice MVP or Maple Hill rather, like between like coming down from Vermont. So I'm sure it's like dumb busy for them at the same time.
Yeah,
But
obviously this is a different. Yeah, because it's back to back 4 rounds. But go ahead, Jay.
The only issue with the idea of, hey, I like what I have, I'm not going to put anything out, is my opinion is that, hey, right now you're not putting anything out. You've got 50,000 fans that love you. If you put something out, okay, maybe you lose some fans or whatever, but now you're going to have 20,000 fans who are willing to die for you. You know, like the level of commitment or feel like a fan to pro relationship deepness. I'm not talking well tonight.
dude, your brain is fried. That's all good. We're recording
like
late, guys, and this man is sick.
And if like a pro is putting out content, the connection between them and their fan base is going to be way deeper than if they're not putting out content. And what I'm trying to say is I think it's worth it to have 20,000 super devoted I love Calvin Heimberg fans than 50,000 that are, hey, wow, I like Calvin, you know, like he's cool. Like I would personally take 20,000 diehard fans over 50,000 mediocre room temperature fans. But that's just my opinion, you know.
Dude,
I don't know.
And yeah, same thing in the Bible. It says about being lukewarm.
Yeah,
there we go.
Oh,
So,
dang. Yeah, it's kind of like they say, if you appeal to everyone, you kind of appeal to no one at the same time.
Totally.
Yeah, so like what can we say right now to be polarizing, to like really attract some fans and alienate others? Like, isn't the VP debate right now? Let's see. What can we say? No, I'm just kidding.
Let's put it on.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Jeff Panis, talking about how brand is important. I mean, look at his daughter. $500,000 off of a brand.
Yeah.
Off of her social media.
I got to like learn a lot about Jeff while I was down in Virginia and just like how he got started doing it. And that man's been like, I don't even know what the actual title is, but basically like a media manager for like, that's what he's been doing pretty much his entire life. And I don't know if you guys have ever listened to like the Party Podcast before with like Hannah
Kona.
Macbeth and Kona's on there.
Oh yeah, by the way, his daughter is Kona Montgomery. It used to be Kona
Yes.
Panis. Just
I'm
so
sorry.
everyone knows.
Maybe I said Kona Panis. My bad.
No.
Kona Montgomery.
I just said his daughter, Jeff Panis' daughter, but people now that her name's Kona Montgomery probably aren't putting the two together. But go ahead.
She was talking about like the importance of brand and whatnot, and she was saying that her dad like really, he didn't like push it on her, but really tried to relay the importance of that. Like he's like, if you're going to be doing this, like that's something that you should, it's like worth investing your time into, because he just understands like all those details of it. So that's why she's as successful as she is, because he like passed that along to her, and she does a great job with it. Obviously, I mean, she has a ton of followers.
I mean,
and it's not like it's easy to put your to like be vulnerable in front of a crowd, because then you're basically like taking those things that you care about and you're letting everyone pass judgment on them. But at the same time, that's how you, again, like we're talking about, that's how you get like dedicated fans, whether you like it or not. I mean, talking about the good or the bad.
Yeah, and it's not for, it's just like, it's it's natural for me, because what you hear on this podcast is how I am in person naturally. Like I don't get off this podcast and I'm just like, what up, bro? So I understand that for some people it's not for everyone, where it's just like, if you don't want to create content and it's not your thing and you don't feel comfortable, like you don't have to. I'm just saying that obviously it's easier for me to put it out there because this is just how I am naturally, just outgoing, like, you know. But it does just help your brand, and eventually the brand makes you more money to stay on tour and actually, you know, really have a successful career, whether it is like mid-tier playing wise.
Mhm.
If you have a great brand and people are supporting you, it's it's a no-brainer. But yeah,
To go off of when we had Andrew on before, uh, I record on just like an iPhone 14. So obviously not the most recent iPhone, although when the most recent one comes out this year, that's what I would like to get. Is it just makes sense
you
to
hear
Same.
that,
the upgrade.
Yarsak? You hear
It's
that,
a
Macy?
write off.
Right
Oh,
off.
what?
Write off. You
Um,
get
Bro,
paid. You get paid to make content now, Sacco. So you can write it off. Just
dude,
keep that in mind.
I gotta write off stuff. Bro.
yup. But the point that I'm getting to is I don't have the most recent technology or some crazy camera, but I'm still, I'm out there doing it and just making it work. And so when I didn't actually talk about when I know we mentioned like Paul Macbeth, like the collab that I had yesterday, but I didn't actually like I told Ben. So I was driving around a lot yesterday for work, and I did like the edit for Paul, not for him. I made it, but like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put it out there, and I almost did not click collab with him, and I was like, just do it, man. Like, why not? And then I turn off my phone, and then I came back. I'm in bumper to bumper traffic on I-95, like driving across the state, and I see that he accepted it, and I was literally screaming, and like I'm just like bashing my steering wheel, being like, "Are you kidding me?" And I can only imagine what I look like to the people around me in traffic. Like they probably thought I was insane, but yeah, it's crazy. The point being, I guess just do it. Just not like you may not have the most recent stuff or whatever, but just make stuff. And I promise, like a lot of times, you are your biggest critic. Of course, there are people that
100%.
will comment on stuff that maybe they even get under your skin, where it's like the thing that you were thinking about, and they say it, and you're like, "Ooh, that one hurts a little extra." But I
Dude,
don't
Bro,
know,
it
man.
does
I
hurt.
am ready to jump through a brick wall right now. I'm
Are
gonna
you?
do
You're
it.
feeling super inspired?
I'm
Let's go buy an
feeling so
iPhone 7 and
inspired.
go record.
Dude, I'm down.
Bro,
iPhone 1.
That actually would be cool.
Yeah, it would be fun,
um,
honestly.
that's a great video. We played disc golf on an iPhone 1.
No, I think if you actually put that in like whatever you're recording, and you're like, yeah, you'd use like the original iPhone to record and just see like what the result looks like, and you can compare it like between the most recent iPhone. Dude, we're bringing Andrew's content and disc golf content together at the same time. Good lord, we're killing
Actually,
it.
Technology.
quick shout out. This is so I caddy for getting Burr. I recorded. Sajko is gonna help me out on that and edit it. The bare bones I think is so. I just want to announce that collaboration. Get ready. Hopefully, I'm gonna put it out very soon, as Jay Millie suggested, the guru. But yeah, Sajko talked about editing last week for my video, and I think we're gonna make it happen, and it's gonna be like a collab, if that makes sense. So
Love it.
I'm excited to see how it comes out.
Me too. I haven't looked at anything yet because I was editing an another round video today, which I got it done super quick, so I'm stoked about that. So I'll be able to start that tomorrow on yours, Ben.
Dude, I'm so stoked for you. I still don't know how you still have your geese job. Like, I'm stoked for you. I mean, I feel like you have such a cool path, and you're about to be a full-time editor in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, you're going to be bigger than all of us.
I mean, that's very nice of you to say, but I don't know about that.
And we're not talking weight-wise.
Yeah, dude. We yeah, the future's exciting. I just don't have like the income yet. I mean, that's really like the important detail.
Bro, I
But
just gave you the plan,
just
bro.
waiting on it.
You got to pack up everything, going in an RV, and follow the tour. Like, what the heck?
Dude, that's
Leave
why
your
I'm
life,
not in
bro.
music anymore, because I just don't like that, truthfully.
No, I know. I know it's such a big freaking ask. I'm not asking. I'm just saying I know it's a huge thing to actually do that. But
I know there are
it
people that
makes
like
sense.
to be on the road, and it's like we've talked about romanticized scenarios, and Broderick's out there doing it, and like that's super cool. And I understand it's not for everyone, but for myself, where it's like, man, I like a shower, or like a toilet. Like those are kind of
need a
cool. And,
shower.
Those are
just
things
like
in RVs, bro. They're such things.
they definitely can be. Dude, you
I need a
got me.
shower.
Dude, what do we? Anything else, guys?
Yeah, I literally that's my next word out of my mouth is like I feel like it's wrapping up. I don't really have honestly this podcast I was juiced this podcast. Very happy. You can probably tell. But yeah, I don't have much. I think we should maybe just cover MVP real quick. Missy Gannon.
Go for it.
Missy Gannon wins.
Kristen Tatar still has not won the MVP
she misses
Open.
the island. Like, Kristen. So I was there. I got to show off the confetti when Missy won, but
I saw.
it was like, Kristen misses the island. Missy clutches up. On 14, Missy lands in the water. Kristen birdies 2-stroke swing, and then on 17, Kristen misses like a not long par putt, and Missy drains like a 40-footer for birdie. So it was just like crazy things going on, and then at the end, Kristen throws it OB and Missy sticks it. And then James Proctor, MPO, obviously super bummed Gannon lost, being his caddy, but I feel like Proctor, it was just like it's such a cool win. You've always heard the story about him, how he never wanted to be on tour because he loves his job as a special education teacher, and that he never toured. And then he tried it out, and he just went blazing last year. Absolutely amazing, shooting so well in the first half of the season. To see him, he already has a Elite Series win in Europe, but to see him win a historical event against the top pros without a weakened kind of European field just shows that he's that guy, and he's a dog, and I feel like he was a great person to win MVP, and I think all of disc golf kind of feels that way. It's like, yeah, that was awesome. Like, congratulations, James. So that was super cool to see.
He always feels like such a supportive person.
He's so cool, bro.
He's always on the bag
so cool
for some FPO player, whether it's Evelina or Ella or Allie Smith or just someone. And then he goes out and plays his own round after that. Like when Evelina won her world title, he's right there. Like I was there, and you could just hear him like calming her down, like she wouldn't be stoked on a shot, and he'd be like, "That's fine." It's like that's all you need, and just like talking her through. And then meanwhile, he's like, "Oh, I gotta go play now."
Yeah.
So yeah, super deserving because
awesome.
you can tell he's pretty selfless dude with like a good head on his shoulders.
Dude, he's so cool.
Even based on like his line of work. I mean, that takes like a very specific kind of person that has patience and like good virtue and stuff.
Yeah.
Glorious.
Sweet. Well, I think that was a sweet episode.
Real quick, my 3 biggest regrets for things that I did not record this weekend. But I was like, before they happened, I was like, should I record? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to right now. Number 1 was in round 3 on hole 4. Cole Rodolin, he like hit the Mando, but he hit an early tree, just kicked off to the side. He just threw like a putt up to like for his approach, hit off of a tree and bounced into the basket. And I was like,
"Oh, I saw that."
Me? Yeah, Jomez posted it today because there was a guy that was like on the card with us, and I was like, I wish I captured that. Second, hole 18 of round 3. Paul Macbeth is doing his approach. He went OB off the approach, and then he goes to like throw, and he throws it in on a hole 18 in front of everyone. Everyone loses their mind, and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself right now? And the final one was James Proctor. But I didn't have the best angle for that one anyways.
Dude,
I was
actually,
in the crowd.
I have the angle. I recorded it.
Oh, that was you? No, I thought it was Gannon.
Gannon, yeah. The one that's another round posted here, but I have a different angle. I'll pull it up real quick. I actually recorded it as well. Let's see.
Stoked. Look at that.
That's
Is that going to be something that I edit?
High quality H2O.
That's good stuff,
Oh, that
man.
actually is a really sick angle.
That's cool.
There are so many people there. Holy cow.
Dude, Maple Hill, I'm sure we're biased to a certain degree.
There's so many people there.
So
I'm sure
many
we're
people,
biased.
bro.
Awesome.
But it is such a good event, dude.
Oh, there
It
we
looks
go.
really
Finally got the coloring. Look at Gannon.
Gannon was shocked.
Brian Earhart, dude. That's just that's just an
Freaking out.
electric friggin'.
Oh, something cool that I didn't know that they do, but after your round, they like give you beer, and on the last day, they like were like handing out shots. So
Yeah,
Austin's
Jameson
like, "Do you want a
shots.
shot?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So yeah, just doing shots, and Mikey Bottles is in there.
Bottles.
Bottles. Yeah, we'll wrap this piece
No
up
clue
now.
who that is.
Any
Dude, I'm just watching this.
One of
again,
our
just
buddies
chills, bro.
out of
This
New
is
York.
stuff you like dream about when you're a child. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
Sure.
completely.
That's clutch.
Any exiting thoughts, you guys?
Apologies to the listeners for my sick voice and lack of energy this episode. I'll be back to full J Millie status next week.
My voice is so sick, dude. Cool. All right.
Dude, I'm sick.
Yeah. Thank you to any listeners, and just people that I got to meet this week that still think that I live in Charlotte. Just yeah, like really just echoing things that Ben said. It's just cool to feel like you're doing something because we're all doing this because we want to. So when people recognize that, that's not the reason that you're doing it. But
Yeah, we don't make money on this podcast.
nope,
What do you mean?
not even a little bit.
Yeah, we do.
But acknowledgement helps.
Rick.
Josh is green right now for
I'm
listeners.
trying to make him sick. I don't know how.
I'm gonna wrap this thing
I
up.
look sick.
Thank you guys.
No, oh no! Oh no! I messed it up. All
right.
there we go.
Dude,
yeah.
we're
Wrap
out of
it.
here. I will not be here.
Funsie.
I will not be here next week, unfortunately for listeners. So you two will
Where
be
will
holding
you
it
be?
down, or I
USDGC.
am not going to
guys.
say on the podcast.
Ooh.
All right, tell us
Spicy.
after.
Okay,
All right.
bye guys.
Secrets. Bye.
Yeah.
Funsie.
Toodles.
Funsie. Bye.